Welcome back, brothers, to yet another episode here on the Oshay Vlogcast Channel. Boy, do we have a pretty interesting show today. I know that it was supposed to starting a little bit late, but we have a great show nonetheless. There were at least 22 people waiting when we scheduled this show. And this is all Alan Roger Currie is doing. He's an excellent content creator. As you guys know, he's an excellent writer and author, senior writer on the negromanosphere.com. He is the king of not only verbal seduction, but getting the most SEO views to our site here. So, I'm just glad to have him. He's a very, very busy person, as you guys know. But, we want to welcome him, Alan Roger Currie, 2017 Negro Manosphere Author of the Year, Writer of the Year, YouTuber of the Year, 2017 Most Articles Viewed in the Year. An Editor's Choice Award. How many awards did you win last year? It was a 4. You got all 4 of them now, right? Haven't you? I already owe you one.
I won 3 awards that were determined by a vote of your Negro Manosphere readers and subscribers. Okay. And then I won 1 award that was an Editor's Choice Award by you because I had one of my articles had the most views of any article.
Okay. Did I send that to you yet, or I haven't sent it to you yet?
No, you haven't sent that to me yet.
Oh, I had to be a nigga. All right, well, so we'll definitely get that to you. I'll get that to you this week. So shout out to the one, the only, the great Alan Roger Currie. Welcome back to the show. You've been here multiple times, so this is definitely not new for you.
Oh, not at all. Always glad to be here.
What up, light-skinnedness? Now, let me talk to you about this. And guys, as you're coming into the chat, I know many of you were just, rubbing your damn thumbs and shit when you saw this, or hands rather. So do me a favor and let's like the video, brothers, as we're coming into the chat. This is really, really good conversation we're gonna have today. So as we know, the Black Manosphere, as we call it over here, was a trip. You actually was on a hangout with Obsidian, and I couldn't believe it. I thought it was somebody pretending to be you at first. And so to be honest, I actually joined both of those hangouts as moral support, just because I wasn't really looking to participate in it. But anyway, you were there, and as Obsidian's been your arch nemesis since last June. And both interviews started off pretty good. First interview did go pretty well. The second one went left real fast towards the end. But go ahead and what did you think of the last interview last Friday?
Well, you pretty much summed it up. It was roughly about 2 hours, might have been 2 hours and 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I would say for the first 1 hour and 50 minutes of that interview, we had some disagreements, mm-hmm. but they weren't what I would call angry, emotional disagreements. They were what I would, generally consider to be respectful disagreements. Then in the last roughly 10 to 12 minutes, well, first of all, let me rewind, man. I got to say some shit.
Okay.
Because Obsidian got me to interview under false pretenses. And my little voice told me that. But I fell for the bait anyway. Mm-hmm. But see, I hadn't heard from Obsidian directly, meaning that he had never he had talked about me on his channel and shit. Mm-hmm. But as far as him directly reaching out to talk to me through email or phone, that was probably the first time I heard from him directly, I want to say since July of last year, because we fell out in early June of last year. And I want to say the last time he had sent me an email was maybe like July of last year. And so he wrote me an email saying he was going to be interviewing this guy I met at the 21 convention named Richard Cooper, who was real cool. I call him Coop. Mm-hmm. And he said he wanted to talk about the incel epidemic.
Okay.
Because there's been a lot of articles ever since that guy in Canada named Alec Manassian killed those people in Canada. And he was a self-proclaimed incel. there's been a lot of articles written about incels, both here in the United States and in Canada, and really across the globe. And so he said he was inviting Richard Cooper to be on the show to talk about that. And he said it was inevitable that since he and I partially fell out because of our differences on the incel named Elliot Roger, that my name would be brought up. And he said, I wanted to give you an invitation because I know I'm going to end up bringing up your name at some point in the conversation. So I said, I'm not sure if I want to do that, but I said, you know, I'm not totally against it, so I'll let you know. And then I think, you know, maybe an hour before the show went on, I went ahead and told him, I said, yeah, I'll go ahead and join in. But I wanted to let Richard Cooper say everything he wanted to say first. So I didn't want to come on at the same time as Richard Cooper.
Okay.
So I waited till he was finished with Richard Cooper. And then I came on. And I came on with the intention of discussing the incels, stuff to do with incels. But I don't even think we spent 5 minutes talking about incels. You know, he had another agenda he wanted to talk about. And so anyway, that's how things went. So that was the first interview. Now, the first interview didn't go quite as left at the end as the second interview, but if you remember, it even got at least a little bit contentious, mainly because Obsidian and Brother Xavier from the Prophet of Thought series YouTube channel. Matter of fact, Brother Xavier is interviewing me later on tonight. I want to throw that out there. He's interviewing me at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. But Brother Xavier said essentially the same thing I said to Obsidian in my second interview, which was, Brother Xavier said, Obsidian, you're acting like brothers want to shut you up. Ain't nobody trying to shut you up. He said, my thing is you can talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about on your YouTube channel, but don't try to impose, don't try to say that anybody who doesn't talk about what you want them to talk about is a simp or a drone or is caping for women. He said, I ain't feeling that shit. And I co-sign with Brother Xavier on that because Obsidian does do that. It's like, anybody who doesn't co-sign with all of his criticisms of black women, all of his insults of black women, all of his assessments and evaluations of black women, he all of a sudden chooses to label them. He's done it with me, as well as his followers have. And quite frankly, man, you know, I'll preface it by saying, generally, I try to ignore subjective criticisms and opinionated labels and shit. But man, I get sick of that shit, man. Just because I don't have the same disappointments and frustrations and bitterness and resentment that you do, all of a sudden, I got to be called a name and shit. You know, Obsidian need to realize, man, and not every black man has had the same experiences as him. So anyway, that was the first conversation. And interesting enough, you listeners, Oshay, now you guys have heard Oshay, he could get lit, you know, on his own channel. I've seen Oshay get lit with to the best of anybody. But Oshay was over on Obsidian's Hangout, all just cool, calm, and collected. Yes, brothers, what we need to understand is everyone has their own lanes. And we just need to, you know, enhance our individual lanes and be respectful of our different. I was like, what the fuck? Oshay wasn't coming with no calypso organ, nothing. He was just all mellow and cool and shit, talking about, yes, brothers, we just need to, you know, show love for one another and respect each other's differences of opinion and personal philosophies and just move forward that way. So anyway, yeah, so we having the conversation on, well, here's the thing.
Okay.
I would say this, I got to throw this out there.
Okay.
I provoked that second interview. So I have to, in full disclosure, I have to say that. Because what happened was, after the first interview on Wednesday, of course, he put some audio clips from that first interview over on his channel. Okay. And, you know, I've never denied that a lot of times I get curious if I feel like my name is going to be brought up or somebody playing an audio clip of mine, of course I'm going to pay attention to the comment section. It's just like when you do interviews with me. I'll come back the next day or 2 days later and look at the comment section, see who's saying what. Now, I might not post, but I'll at least look at what's being said.
Right.
And so one of his followers by the name of Corey Green tried to say that, he said, the problem I have with ARC is he thinks all of black female fuckery is related to dating and relationships and sex. But there's other forms of black female fuckery. There's black female fuckery in the workplace. Okay. There's black female fuckery to do with, poor customer service. And he named all these different aspects of black female fuckery.
Okay.
So I responded. I hadn't responded in Obsidian's comment section. I don't know, God knows how long. I think last time might have been last August, last September, something like that.
Okay.
And but I responded to Corey. I said, hey man, I'm a dating coach. I stay in my lane.
All right.
Or at least I try to. I try to stay in my lane. I'm not a person on YouTube with the objective of offering social commentary about the black community and the tension between black men and black women. I don't have any books that center on that subject matter. And therefore, I don't feel the need, I don't feel compelled to talk about that shit. And then Obsidian jumps in and says, well, Alan, with all due respect, your book, The Beta Male Revolution, it ain't directly related to dating and relationships. It kind of, in its own way, offers social commentary of men and women's behavior. To me, that book of yours, The Beta Male Revolution, is a deviation from your so-called lane. So I don't see why you're not willing to discuss black female fuckery, because it's obvious from reading your book, The Beta Male Revolution, that you do deviate from that lane, which I will say here, and I told him I disagree with that. Anybody who reads The Beta Male Revolution, yes, I do have some brief, what you could call social commentary things, but they're all indirectly related to today's dating scene.
Okay.
There's no chapter in that book that is in no way, shape, or form that's totally unrelated to the dating scene. Because the essence of, for those not familiar with that particular book, that was actually my very last book. That came out in June of 2016. The essence of the Beta Male Revolution is I'm pointing out to guys that the reason why today's dating scene is so challenging is because there was a period between 1960 and 1974 that a lot of shit happened. It's like we had one type of dating scene up until about the late 50s. And then beginning with 1960, the first major thing that happened was the introduction of the birth control pill.
Okay.
And that was followed by the emergence of what's known as the second wave of feminism. Then you had a little later, you had the sexual revolution. Then you had the legalization of abortion. The porno industry emerged big time during that period. And there was a few other factors that I think I mentioned. So you had that was a jam-packed 15-year period right there, arguably more than any other period in the last 150 years. Was that period between 1960 and 1974. And you could say the end result was prior to 1960, it was heavily frowned on for a woman to engage in sex outside the context of marriage.
Okay.
Women would be disowned if they became promiscuous. Okay. Women would be disowned if they got pregnant and had a child out of wedlock. That's why a lot of women would indulge in illegal abortions, because they would rather have an illegal abortion than be disowned by their families and the public in general. Okay. But what happened between that period between 1960 and 1974 is that, without getting too lengthy, women became far more comfortable engaging in premarital sex, casual sex. Mm-hmm. And I just highlight in that book how starting with the mid-70s all the way up into today, we've seen how the changes in the sexual dynamics between men and women have both positively affected today's dating scene and equally, if not more so, negatively affected today's dating scene. Okay. So anyway, me and Obsidian started having this back and forth in this comment section. And I was basically like, bruh, I don't have time to be going back and forth in your comment section about this shit. If you want to interview me a second time, you know, I got some free time, a couple hours this afternoon. Let's do this shit. At first he said, no, if I can't do it at 9:00 p.m. Eastern, I don't want to do it. I was like, dude, when have you seen me do a fucking hangout or podcast on a Friday night? Matter of fact, I told him, I said, the only time in my YouTube history that I think I've done anything on a Friday night was actually, I did one Brother Peel podcast with you one time. Okay. It was on a Friday. Okay. But if there's two nights that most people who follow me know, I'm never on YouTube. It's Friday nights and Saturday nights. Usually my social life is too active or I'm traveling to be on YouTube on a Friday night or a Saturday night. Okay. And so anyway, he ended up saying, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do this shit. Let's go ahead and do it. So that's what provoked the second interview. So I just wanted to point out that the second interview was more so provoked by me. But anyway, what made it go left is when I, again, echoed the sentiments of Brother Xavier from the Prophet of Thought series. I basically said, hey, man, because see, Obsidian has created this false narrative that a lot of people on YouTube trying to shut him up. And I understand that last year there was a group of Black female YouTubers that in their own way were trying to shut him up and trying to shut you up, trying to shut Angry Man up and a few other people up.
I was number 2.
So I'm aware of that. But as of right now, in 2018, I don't know anybody who's trying to shut down Obsidian's channel. I know I'm not. I can only speak for myself. I'm not trying to shut down his channel. Okay. But my thing is, what I told him is, you can talk about anything you want to talk about on your channel. But don't try to draw me into these various discussions and debates about the fuckery of Black women, because that ain't my shit. Okay. That ain't my thing. I said, that's your shit, not mine. That's your mantra, not mine. And you were there, you witnessed it. That's when that motherfucker went the fuck off, man. He just starts saying, he must have said stop at least 8 to 10 times. Stop! 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 Stop making excuses for Black women! Stop! Stop! I was like, this motherfucker done lost his mind. I mean, I literally, and I'm not saying this like early, man. I thought he was having a nervous breakdown on the air, man. Okay. Like, if not a nervous breakdown, at least an emotional meltdown, man. Motherfucker just start yelling, man. Stop! Stop! But so anyway, man, my thing, and I still maintain that, man. Hey, man, if you got guys in your chat room right now that got issues with Black women, I ain't gonna say your issues are not valid. I would never say that, because I ain't walked in your shoes. But by the same token, I'm saying don't impose your issues on me, because I ain't had the same issues with Black women that you've had. Okay. A lot of you motherfuckers have heard me say this, and a lot of people say it comes across as kind of whatever, conceited, arrogant, whatever. But I'll tell you straight up, man, most of the Black women I've dealt with in my life have treated me like a king, man. Okay. Shoot. You know, sisters treated me well. So if, you know, like I had one of Obsidian's followers say, I think it's disingenuous for Alan not to talk about Black female fuckery, when the reality is, for me, it would be just the opposite. It would be intellectually disingenuous for me to start railing against Black women, because anybody who knows me in real life, you know what they would say if they heard me doing that? They would be like, come on, Alan, what are you doing bashing Black women? Okay. All the Black women I know have treated you like a motherfucking king, man. I mean, I would literally, from people who know me like in real life, I would get laughed at if I was to do multiple episodes of shows just dogging out Black women. Because the brothers who hung around me in my real life, they know, man. One of my lighthearted criticisms from guys I know, they be like, Alan, man, Black women spoil you all the time, man. They spoil you all the time. They let you have your way. So I would look like a fool coming on my channel talking about some Black female fuckery. Okay. I would feel ridiculous.
All right, Alan, let me do this real quick, guys. We have 260 people watching. All right, and you guys know Alan can talk, man. So if I don't stop him, we'll be here until Jesus come back. So you gotta he kind of like a Bryson going downhill, man. You give gravity to take you down, man. So let me do this. First of all, I appreciate everybody coming in here. Let me shout out the super chats, and again, thanks for Alan. Alan is a wonderful content creator, and that's a tip, man. If you really want to make it in his YouTube game, one of the things you can do is become some friends with some great, excellent content creators. It'll definitely help you on your way. So, brothers, do me a favor. We have 264 live viewers. I would appreciate you, brothers, liking the video. Let me first off start out by shouting out my man, Sub-03639. Rusty Balls. Okay, and we and Alan were talking about your video earlier. Shout out to Rusty. He was on here last weekend. We did a 101. Oh, shit, I was about to shoot a video until I saw this. Excessive 65. $5 super chat. My boy Short NBA Clips, over 200 people watching and less than 100 likes, while the great ARC is on O'Shea's giving us the knowledge and entertainment. Unacceptable. Get them likes up. Thank you, brothers, man, for the wonderful things you're saying right now. Let me go to this real quick. I want to steer just awesome things that you have basically that you've said, and you've given me a lot to work with. What we know, I've been taking some notes here. One of the brothers, Corey Green, talked about black women in the workplace, black women in customer service. So outside of the dating situations, I think that it's fair to say that a lot of black men, whether they like black women or not, there seems to be a big problem for whatever reason when it comes to African American women in typical, customer service jobs, certain attitudes and things like that. So when it comes to black female fuckery, have you ever experienced, not outside of just, dating black women, but have you experienced these sort of issues with African American women on average, where, there is so much of a bad attitude, as a consumer or maybe in the workplace? Have you experienced these things that a lot of brothers point out, even other races of people point out, like, yo, there's an issue with black women in customer service and stuff like this?
Sure, I have. But the issue is not. I've exhibited black women exhibit behavior that I didn't care for.
Okay.
But if I go to a restaurant and the black waitress is loud talking and disrespectful, I'm not going to come on YouTube and then say she represents all black women in America.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about that specific black female that was in that restaurant I was in.
Okay.
And that's how I generally operate, man. I'm more likely to call out black female fuckery on a case-by-case basis, on an individual basis.
Okay.
But I'm not into generalizing and or stereotyping all black women as being fucked up because 2 or 3 black women in one particular month rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Let me also talk about this real quick. Me and you, I believe, I don't know who was on that show. It was about a year ago. Me, you, it might have been even Obsidian. It might have been even some other people. We were talking about the fact that, all right, well, maybe Alan Roger Currie, because, maybe he will be considered conventionally better looking than most men, and, have more education. Alan Roger Currie, for whatever reason, cannot empathize with the plight of what the normal African American man goes through, or the normal brothers go through. In other words, the reason why you feel the way that you feel, or the way that Derek Jackson might feel the way he feels, or guys like that, is, you guys are in the top 10 to 15%, baby, because of whatever physical situations or educational achievements. That.
Hey, O'Shea, can I interject?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I'm having problems with your volume, man.
Okay. Can anybody else hear me?
I think it's on my end. I don't think it's on your end, but somebody just called me on my smartphone. And after the call, hold on a second.
Okay.
Okay, start talking again.
Can you hear me?
No, it's still low. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
It's
okay.
back to normal.
So I guess one of the things that we keep running into is, you don't have empathy because you cannot empathize with the plight of what brothers are going through because, maybe women find you to be more good looking, maybe because of your achievements in life. And so what you say about Black women, for you, it's not the same experience. So sometimes brothers think like you might be being a little bit disingenuous. Does Alan Roger Currie lack empathy for the average brothers who do have problems with Black women?
Hell no.
Okay.
No, I mentioned guys who know me in real life.
Okay.
There's no man who's hung around me in real life that has ever suggested that I lack empathy. Man, I'm one of the most, man, I got brothers, some people say I rub my balls in guys' face about my popularity with women over the years. Now I'm gonna rub my balls in the face about my popularity with men. I got brothers that would take a bullet for Alan Roger Currie because they know I've had their back like big time.
Okay.
I got brothers who love me to death, man. And you don't get that type of love and quality friendship from brothers by being just an arrogant, unempathetic asshole. And plus, on a professional level, for about 4.5 years, I was a mentor. I was the head of a mentoring group at a local university in Northwest Indiana for young Black men. And a lot of those Black men, they ended up looking at me as a surrogate father because they didn't have fathers in the home. So, man, I've heard every story out there. And so for anybody, the only person, what I find funny, Obsidian has said that criticism about me that I'm not empathetic. But guess what I've heard Obsidian say on his own channel?
What's that?
Multiple times. He's used this phrase where he said empathy is overrated. Go in his catalog of his past episode. I guarantee you'll find an episode where he says that. I've heard him say that at least a half a dozen times. Obsidian will say empathy is overrated, but yet this hypocritical motherfucker trying to suggest that I'm unempathetic. Again, man, there's a difference between being empathetic. You can only be empathetic to a degree if you haven't experienced the exact same things that someone else has experienced. Mm-hmm. For example, if I have friends who are going through a horrible divorce, I will be there for them if they need me to be. But because I've never been married and I've never gone through a divorce myself, mm-hmm. I wouldn't be able to 100% empathize with them because I haven't experienced a divorce. I've had friends who've gotten shot. Not fatally, but maybe shot in the leg, shot in the arm. And I was empathetic to both their physical and emotional pain from that experience. But I've never been shot, although I've had a brother put a gun to my forehead.
Damn. About what?
Yeah. See, I'm like, this light-skinned brother might seem like he's mellow and in control of himself, but I'm going to tell you something about Alan Roger Currie. I think you know this already. Mm-hmm. Now, in my older years, I've kind of chilled out, but when I was in my 20s and 30s, man, I would talk shit with the best of them. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've said shit to motherfuckers' face that some of my friends said, Alan, you know you should have been shot by now, or if not shot, had your ass whooped. Because I was the type of motherfucker, if somebody would start talking shit to me, now I rarely was one to start a session of shit talking. But if you started shit talking to me, I was going to look you dead in your eye and say, where your bitch at? Because I'm going to fuck your bitch and I'm going to fuck her in your face and smile in your face while I'm doing it. And motherfuckers start holding me back like, come on now, man. Chill on that shit. Come on, man. But once you get me going, man, you get me fired up, man. Shit.
Anything, huh?
Oh, I get extra hardcore on a motherfucker. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But So I'm empathetic to a degree, but if I haven't experienced what you've experienced exactly, it's only so much empathy. Like, again, I'll use Obsidian as an example. This example, of course, of his infamous prom story. Okay. I ain't never experienced no shit like that.
Yeah, me neither.
I ain't never experienced getting rejected by 12 women for my high school prom. So, I mean, in that respect, I can't totally empathize with that because I ain't never experienced no shit like that. But I mean, I feel for him that he had to go through that. But my question, I also feel for the 4 women that he potentially destroyed their self-esteem by essentially calling them unattractive and lacking sex appeal. Okay. One or more of those women might have been traumatized by that experience to this day.
Let me ask you this real quick. And guys, I'm going to shout out the super chat after this next question. And thank you so much for the appreciation. We have 298 people watching. That's a huge, guys. Thank you so much. Do me a favor, brothers. I need 75 brothers to like the video. We really appreciate all of you brothers in here tonight. We may have a double header tonight with a great show. So go ahead on, brothers. Support Negro Manosphere's greatest tandems. Okay, our brothers, Donovan, Rom, Alan Roger Currie. These are the guys that kind of set the pace for the site and for all this great content you guys see every day. So let's go ahead and like the video if we can. I want to talk about this video you did a little bit last week. And it was a video you're tired of black male YouTubers such as Obsidian trying to draw you into discussions and talk about black female fuckery. So what I want to do is this. I want to ask, do you think that black women have any fuckery to discuss at all? That's kind of unique to the group.
Oh, see. You're clever, boy. You're clever. I tell your listeners, this brother Oshay is clever, man. He's a clever interviewer. You see how he tagged on that last little piece? That changed the whole dynamic of the question. He said,
I gotta use this high IQ. I got player. Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. Here's the thing, man. Here's how I look at it. And I'm gonna try not to be long-winded.
Okay.
But most of us were brought over here against our will, our ancestors.
Yes.
And you had black women that were just brutalized on a weekly, if not daily basis. Had their children taken from them, just raped, sometimes right in front of their mates. Then even post-slavery, you had women being treated like they were the ugliest things on earth because they didn't match up to the beauty of the proverbial white beauty queen. So speaking of empathy, man, I tend to be empathetic to a lot of the shit that black women have gone through.
Okay.
And I think both black men and black women got a lot of pain, a lot of deep-seated pain that they haven't dealt with through generations. Just deep-seated pain, man. The pain of just being treated like less than human in this country. So I don't think it's my job to publicly help to pile on to any woman's or man's the pain that they may be already experiencing. I mean, because when I hear black women lash out at black men and black men lash out at black women, what I'm hearing is pain. Is a brother and sister in pain. And the type of brother I am, I hate to see that, man. I hate to see it in both directions. So to go back to address your question, man, do I think black women at times exhibit some behavior that's foul, that's inappropriate, that's disrespectful? Sure, there's a percentage of black women who do that.
Okay.
But there's a percentage of black men who do the same.
Okay.
And I just don't like to see Black women being singled out as if they are somehow the originators of fucked up, undesirable, disrespectful behavior, when we all know that that's not the truth.
Well, let's deal with this this last question, part of that statement that you said. And guys, do me a favor. We have 310 people watching right now. Thank you guys for doing that. Let me pause real quick, and we'll come back. That you said that when we all know that that's not the truth, right? Okay, so we're gonna stick with that one because you said it, so we gotta stick with it. But let me just do this real quick, guys. Got Alan Roger Currie on right now. Hot show. I want to first of all thank all you brothers for like I said, we have brothers with different ideas here. Alan Roger Currie, is the king writer of the Negro Manosphere. All his ads is on there, right? He's just that's his like playground. So we want to thank him for his contributions, because when it comes to dating and relationships, certainly, this is he's the king. And I thank him for coming on to discuss something that's typically not really his points of view, nor that he touches on that. He's a dating coach. But let me do this real quick. HT Logistics, shout out to Big Bro Chris. Good show, brothers. I like his fair outlook. And what's up, Oshay? Thank you so much, Big Brother Chris. Darren Brown, I don't have business dissing Black women either. Most of my adulthood, I've been around bad or bougie white women. That boy getting his OJ on. Arain Knights 499. Marcus Love ARC putting light-skinned Black men on the map. Javert Hawkins, $5. All right, brothers, thank you so much. Keep the likes coming up on the video. Okay, well then let's talk about the last part of the statement that you said. We'll go to another question. We all know that's not the case. What do you mean when you say that part?
I'm saying that unless you just been in a bubble, I mean, like you over in Warsaw, Poland, man. I mean, come on, man. See, I'm a brother, man, who's dealt with white women. I've dealt with Asian women. I've dealt with Hispanic women, and I've seen the fuckery of them all, man.
Okay.
I've seen the fuckery of them all, man. So, Black women ain't got no exclusive monopoly on fuckery. Now, I know you're the way you posed that question to me, you were asking me what fuckery do Black women have that's unique to them. If I had to point to maybe one thing, well, see, I can't even point to that exclusively. I was going to say a lot of Black women, particularly in today's society, have a strong aversion to the idea of being submissive. But I know a lot of Hispanic women, man, that have the same aversion. And even nowadays, you got a lot of white women and even Asian women who have a strong aversion to being submissive to a man. Okay. So it ain't just Black women. So, but that was going to be my main thing that I was going to say. But see, my unique perspective, man, because I've been a BDSM dom. I know that for a lot of women, man, that's just a front. That's just a front, man. That ain't who they really are. There's a lot of women, Black women out here, who give Black men the impression that they are the most dominant boss bitch on the planet. Mm-hmm. But if you know how to break them down,
can we do this real quick? I'm gonna go to the other question. Let me do this real quick. Shout out to Devin, right? There's a Black woman that always follows the channel. She did donate $5. Devin Haley, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. My boy AM1, $5. Put something in the tip. Thank you so much, brother. Is the Black community a matriarchy or a patriarchy? Okay, I'm gonna answer that. And it is thanks, Edward. Let me kind of get into this real quick. Alan. Okay, this is something I'm glad you brought up, and maybe we could build some type of article about that on the Negro Manosphere. I never tell Alan Roger Currie what to write, which is why me and Alan Roger Currie get along so well. I just say, hey, Alan, here's a buddy, and you do what the hell you want to do. That's the best way to deal with Alan Roger Currie. But there have been some I've requested before, a MGTOW piece that you've done. And let's talk about this whole idea is that they are, in your opinion, probably more likely to not be as submissive, but you have to break them down more. So I think let's talk about that, because a lot of Black men are complaining about, okay, it takes a little bit of extra work to break them down. Or in your opinion, does it take more extra work to break a black woman down, on average, than dealing with another race of woman, as far as the submissive piece.
Well, a lot of women today, man, again, today, I can't even exclusively put that on black women, but just for, let's say for argument's sake, I was to. Mm-hmm. Black women, and put in simple, blunt terms, man, black women don't want to be with no punk, man. They don't want to be with I don't know if any of the young brothers saw the classic television miniseries called Roots. You know, that was the big thing when I was young, was the miniseries Roots with Kunta Kinte, man, that showed you, you know, that was the first TV show that really showed you the history of slavery. And Kunta Kinte's daughter, Kizzy, man, I remember she was dating Richard Roundtree, who was known for this movie called Shaft.
Yeah.
And at first, Richard Roundtree came across like he was this, you know, man with backbone. But then they was driving, and then he came across this, you know, racist white dude. And the racist white dude, you know, wasn't even punking him that much, but Richard Roundtree got on his knees and just started being a bitch to this white dude, man. Mm-hmm. And you could see the disdain on Kizzy's face, like, damn, well, so you just a straight up punk. And you could just see her lose respect for him right then and there. You know, she was like, damn, you ain't a man. And she wasn't feeling him no more. So women are going to administer what's commonly known as shit tests, because I've had a number of sisters administer shit tests with me. Mm-hmm. And it's basically designed to see if you got thick skin or thin skin, and if you got weak backbone or strong backbone. Mm-hmm. And once you show a woman, man, that you are a sensitive, thin skin type, or you got weak backbone, they're going to lose respect for you. And that's why you hear me saying, brothers, man, quit all this whining and complaining. That's not just me just trying to make brothers feel bad about themselves or getting their ass. But what I'm trying to tell brothers is that, man, when you're doing all this whining and complaining, man, that shit makes you look weak. You must not be trying to get no pussy if you're doing all this whining and complaining, because I'm telling you, man, ain't no woman respect that I know. Ain't no woman respect that. That shit makes you look like a whiny, weak bitch, man. Mm-hmm. And so I'm in my own way, I'm trying to give brothers advice when I tell them to stop whining and complaining. I'm not just trying to, you know, act like I'm that daddy who's trying to tell them what to do. I'm saying, if your objective is to be looked at as any type of ladies' man in the eyes of a woman, but you're on YouTube every week whining about their behavior, that immediately lets women know that women have had their way with you. They've disrespected you in the past. Because otherwise, you wouldn't be complaining. That brings me to another point. I'm trying not to be long-winded on this.
Go ahead. Get your Edward on.
One of my biggest pet peeves, man, I think I mentioned this when Obsidian was interviewing me.
Okay.
Is I can't stand when I hear, this is not even just brothers. I feel this way about white guys, Asian guys, Hispanic guys, but I'll concentrate on brothers. Okay. When brothers will be whining and bitching about that various aspects of women's behavior that they deem to be fucked up. Okay. But then right after they say all that shit, they'll say a comment like, well, you know, I gotta let you know I ain't no loser though. You know, I get my share of pussy. Motherfucker, nigga, please. I've been a top-notch ladies man and womanizer myself, and I've hung around some of the creme de la creme of ladies man and womanizers. And one thing I can tell you, if any man is satisfied with the quality and caliber of pussy he's getting, he don't have no complaints, man. And definitely, he don't have no public complaints. He might have a few minor private complaints with his close friends every blue moon, but as far as to the extent that he would get on YouTube, I ain't never, ever known no guy who was a top-notch ladies man or womanizer who was getting, again, the quality and caliber of pussy that he really wanted to get. Mm-hmm. That was always bitching. There's only two types of motherfuckers who really bitch about women a lot. Okay. These motherfuckers who ain't getting no pussy at all.
Okay.
They jacking off all the time, and that's got them frustrated. Okay. I'm just keeping shit real. They jacking off. They've been jacking off for like the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. They ain't getting no pussy at all.
All right.
Or at minimum, You got some guys that might be getting maybe a decent degree of pussy, but in terms of the overall quality, the quality and caliber of pussy they're getting is far below their standards. If I had to put it in those number terms on that scale from 1 to 10, you got some guys that might want 8, 9, and 10 quality pussy, but right now they getting 3, 4, 5 quality pussy. So they frustrated over that shit. But if you want 8, 9, 10 quality pussy and you're consistently getting 8, 9, 10 quality pussy, what the fuck are you frustrated about?
Right. No,
what complaint? What legitimate complaint do you have? None.
Okay, let me do this because a few brothers, again, y'all are so good to us on this channel and negromastery.com. Turf Orca, Edward Anderson wants to know, and I'm going to ask about this quality of caliber pussy before we get back to some of the questions. Edward Anderson wants to know, do you feel that the black community, is it a matriarchy or is it a patriarchy in your opinion?
That's hard to say, but if you had to ask me for a general answer, anytime you have a high percentage of single mother led homes, which we do in the black community, it's going to be, for the most part, a matriarchy. I mean, but it wasn't always like that. Like I heard one YouTube host, this was months ago, he tried to suggest that it's always been like that. I would vehemently disagree. Because I know, just speaking from the way I was brought up, my father ran my household.
Yeah.
And both my mother's father and my father's father were strong men who ran their households. Now I got some relatives, like some cousins who, my aunts basically ended up being single moms. So they, of course, they ran their households, but most of the black middle class, upper middle class homes I was familiar with when I was young, the father ran the household, man. Okay. But that's one of the things, though, I talk about in the Beta Male Revolution, man. My book, The Beta Male Revolution, is that again, man, that period between 1960 and 1974 changed a lot of shit, man. Okay. And so now, not only do you got a lot of black single moms, you got a lot of white single moms out there now. You got a lot of Asian single moms out there. You got a lot of Hispanic single moms out there.
That's true, but I think that the issue the black men are saying that we know that they're the same as far as single motherhood, but astronomically, the case will point that black women are much higher in percentages than these other groups. Like we understand that, but I think what the case a lot of brothers are saying is this. Okay, yes, single motherhood is raising in all groups of women. But there have been some sources that say that black women are now close to 79%. And there's no group of women that are at that high. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So, I mean, your argument does work for the fact that, okay, yes, these other groups are also, but they're similar, but they're not equal though. Do you understand? So it seems like African-American women, they have a harder problem with, let's say, for example, okay, obesity is rising in America. Yeah, black women tend to have a harder time with that. Single motherhood, they have a harder time with that. Okay, female fuckery. Okay, yes, but that's what I'm saying. All of these other things that black women are probably struggling with, it seems like they have it worse in so many words. You're in some of the negative things. I think that's kind of really what black men are saying. We're not saying that the other groups don't have it. But what I'm thinking is why are black women suffering it from it so strong? Do you get what I'm saying?
Because they have no motivation to change their behavior.
Okay. Let's talk about
Nobody's going to change or improve their behavior if they don't have a profound motivation to.
Okay. Let's talk about that. That's a good point. Let me do this. Okay. I see you getting your lawyer on today. That was a good rebuttal. It was a good counterpunch. Let me do this real quick, brothers. Let me shout out to brother CACA. He says black men actually complain the least because they put up with the most. Truth be told, our lack of complaining is what led to black women becoming this dysfunctional. Okay, that might be a good something we can bring up here. And I'm going to let you answer that question that you did. We're going to go back to some other questions. Caleb, in the future, do you think America will be lumped all together when it comes to Western civilization fuckery? Absolutely, I believe that. But Alan Roger Currie, you make a point that Black women will not change because there's no, in so many words, incentive for them to change. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Okay. What would be an incentive for them to change in your opinion?
Okay, let's go with the weight issue. Black men been complaining about that women are overweight, but the reality is a lot of overweight Black women still get attention from Black men. So if they know they can still get some dick, what's their motivation? I mean, seriously, same with a man. If a man is 400 pounds and he know he can still get some decent looking pussy, what's his motivation to go to the health and fitness center and change his nutritional habits? Mm-hmm. I mean, I give myself as an example. We used to talk about motivation. I admitted this on one of my YouTube channels. I said it lightheartedly, but it's the truth. I said one thing about being considered by a lot of women, a desirable alpha male. I said, like, when I was in my 20s and most of my 30s, a lot of times, man, I had no motivation to look for no job because the sister would be like, "Oh, Alan, you can stay with me rent-free. I'll take care of you." Mm-hmm. What motivation did I have to bust my ass and look for a job if a sister was going to take care of me and pay all my bills and shit? Mm-hmm. Or let me use their car indefinitely. What motivation I had to save up money to go out and get a car for myself if I had sisters saying, "Oh, Alan, you can use my car anytime you want to," or "I got 2 cars, you can use my second car." So the fact that I had a lot of Black women that was spoiling me and coddling me in many respects, it lowered a lot of my motivation to become financially self-sufficient and be really ambitious. And that's why I've made the argument. I've heard guys say, "Well, Alan, I disagree with you in your definitions and descriptions of alpha male. You have to be filthy rich to be an alpha male." That's bullshit. For me, it's almost just the opposite. Okay. One of the reasons why guys are driven to be super ambitious to accumulate great wealth and material possessions is because they don't have the looks, confidence, charisma, and sex appeal to get quality pussy without that shit. Because if you could get quality pussy without a Rolls Royce, without a house on the beach, without a 401k plan, without a car, period, what the fuck is your motivation? I was fucking bad bitches riding a bus. So what was my motivation to get a Ferrari? I didn't have no motivation to get no Ferrari. I was fucking 8s, 9s, and 10s riding a bus. So going back to Black women, yeah, if a woman doesn't feel, a woman has to consciously feel, okay, I mentioned this in my book, The Beta Male Revolution. Okay. I quote my mother. See, this goes back again to the difference in generations. My mother told me that in her generation, women knew they had to snatch up a husband quick. Okay. Because number one, they didn't have the opportunities they do now to earn their own money. Okay. And they knew that if they didn't have a husband by roughly the age of 30, at absolute latest 35, they were going to be an old maid or what some call a spinster for the rest of their life. And no woman wanted to be no old maid or spinster. So they had a sense of urgency about snatching up a husband. But in today's society, what woman has that type of urgency? Mm-hmm. Black, white, or other. What woman has this? Because number one, women are making their own money. Okay. Most women don't need no man to take care of them financially. There's some women who are gold digger types, but most women, man, they can make at least 35, 40, 50, 60 grand or more by their damn self. Mm-hmm. So they don't need no man to make money. They can be a baby mama. They don't need to get married to have a baby. They can just find a sperm donor. So what's their motivation? You got to always, whenever you want to examine people's behavior, male, female, black, white, young, old, you got to always ask yourself, what is their motivation to do different, to do better, or to do different? What is their motivation? If there is no motivation, then there's not going to be any change and or improvement. You got to have a powerful, profound motivation. Okay. Okay. Let me do this real quick, guys. I want to shout out Roastmaster1 for the $50 PayPal earlier today, man. Thank you, brother. Always supporting the show.
And this is what I want to do for those people who are a little bit new to the channel. If you want to support, you can do so by super chat. You can ask a comment to Alan or ask a comment to the show. You can do so by there's a dollar signal there. You can put $1 in, whatever. I always like to get new people. It's always the same people that supporting the show. I like to get new brothers to support the show. We're here with our most known writer, obviously, NegroManosphere.com. So there would be no NegroManosphere.com without Alan Roger Currie. So brothers, if you can like the video at the very minimum, I appreciate you brothers being in here. Okay, and thank you guys for watching and listening so far. So if we can at least like the video for those people who are on live stream, that way we can, get the analytics up on the video. But let me ask you this real quick. It's funny that you mentioned this real quick, because in your book, The Beta Male Revolution, you're talking about a total different breed of women. Okay. So you talked about what your mom just said, that, women need to get a husband. So I think that, do you think that even though the need to get a husband was there, do you think that black women treated black men more better, or differently, let's say in 1958 or 48 versus 2018? What do you, let's talk about that a little bit more in detail.
Because, man, see, back in the day before the 1960s, man, getting a husband was like getting a job. It was analogous to getting a job.
Okay.
Because women didn't have the earning opportunities that they do now. And see, the fathers of the homes played into that, because if you were the father of one or more daughters, if your daughters, the longer they took to get married, guess what? That meant the longer you had to take care of them financially. So let's say, Oshay, if you had, 5 daughters in, let's say, 1945, would you want all 5 of your daughters saying, Daddy, I need you to buy me this, Daddy, I need you to buy me that, Daddy? I know how you are. At one point, you're going to be like, okay, I love you little bitches, but y'all going to have to shut the fuck up. I was just trying to get in my pocket. Y'all better get a man to take care of you. Well, yeah, that's how the fathers were back in the day. They wanted their daughters to get married as quickly as possible, because that alleviated them of financial responsibility.
Okay.
And that's why a lot of fathers were hard-line about their daughters having sex outside the context of marriage, and definitely about getting pregnant, because attitude, they knew that if one of their daughters, either one of these two things, developed a reputation for being promiscuous or got pregnant outside the context of marriage, wasn't no man gonna marry them unless that father decided to put a shotgun to that guy's head and say, motherfucker, you gonna marry my daughter, whether you want to or not. You gonna marry my daughter.
Right.
I mean, the shotgun wedding was real shit.
Right.
So, but see, in today's society, that's why you hear women say, I don't need a man. I mean, they ain't just saying it because it sounds good or it sounds feministic, but in many ways they don't. Their attitude is, number one, women who are financially self-sufficient, their attitude is, I don't need no man to take care of me. I don't need no man to buy shit for me. I could buy my own shit. The problem here, now here's where I identify a characteristic about black women. Well, to me, this is all women, period, but I'll just emphasize black women. There's a lot of black women who feel like they can raise a well-adjusted son by themselves.
Okay.
So if you got black women listening, for those that say Alan Roger Currie never goes after black women, I'm gonna tell you, black women, that's bullshit. You cannot. There are some cultures that once a son reaches the age of 8, 9, or 10, guess what? The woman no longer has any influence in that boy's life. The father raises him from that fucking point on. And that's the way it should be in the United States. That once a boy becomes a certain age, that the father is almost automatically obligated to take care of that son. Because, man, ain't no woman. Now, I do believe a woman can raise a daughter for the most part by herself, but even daughters need the influence of a father. Statistics show and studies show that women are less likely, there's exceptions, but less likely to be horribly promiscuous if they got a strong father figure in the household. Because, women, You know, hey man, I'm gonna tell y'all, man. Now, how many times have y'all heard of a father having a threesome with his son with a bitch? You rarely if ever gonna hear that shit. No. But women left to their own devices, man, women will have a threesome with their daughter, man. And I ain't even bullshit. Oshay knows some of my stories, man. I mean, women, that's how freaky they get, man. If it ain't no male presence, man, women, I mean, you know, so that's another show for another day. Okay. But yeah, you know, I think it's foolish for a lot of black women to think that they have everything it takes to raise a son by themselves. Now, there's two situations going on there, in fairness. Okay. If it's a situation where I'll use you as an example, Oshay. Mm-hmm. If you meet a woman named Janelle and you want to fuck Janelle and she says, Oshay, please wear a condom, please wear a condom. And you're like, no, bitch, I want to fuck that pussy raw dog. Because I know you're going to have some good pussy and I want to fuck that pussy. She's like, no, Oshay, please put a condom on. And you're like, no. So you fuck a raw dog, you get her pregnant, she gives birth to Oshay Jr., and you say, no, I didn't want that motherfucker. I just wanted to fuck you. I never wanted that motherfucker, so you gonna have to take care of little Oshay Jr. yourself. I never wanted no son by you. I just wanted you to be my fuck buddy. Okay. No, that's on you, Oshay. That's irresponsibility on you. Okay. Especially if she specifically asked you to wear a condom and you said, fuck it, that's on you. Okay. Now, let's say a situation, let's flip that script. Let's say a situation where you meet, you know, Lydia, and you're really attracted to Lydia. Okay. You wouldn't mind marrying Lydia. And y'all have a, you know, a nice boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, and she gets pregnant, and you want to raise the baby with Lydia, but she says, no, Shay, it ain't working out between us. I don't want to stay with you. I don't want you to be my husband. I'm going to go ahead and raise Oshay Jr. by myself. Okay. Then that's on her fucking ass. Okay. That's her being selfish. That's her also being delusional. And the way the legal system is set up for a lot of fathers is unfair that you don't have an equal say-so in custody battles. And, you know, so, you know, there's two sides of that coin. Okay. Let me do this real quick, guys. Let me shout out to, we have 389 people watching. And again, we're here with Alan Roger Currie, excessive. Oshay, I wanted to say that Zygote comment was off the hook on your earlier video today. Thank you so much. Appreciate all you brothers in here. We got 390. 6 more likes will get us to 200 for the podcast. So again, I really appreciate you brothers for that. Get 6 more of you brothers to like the video. If you have not liked the video and you're coming into the podcast, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. We appreciate you for coming on. Let me go to the next question that I want to talk about. Oshay, you know I got to say something real quick. Go ahead. See, I understand why you motherfuckers like to talk about black men versus black women shit. Because of all this one-on-one interviews that Oshay has done with me, I ain't never had damn near 400 motherfuckers watching me. When Oshay says, yes, I'm interviewing Alan Roger Currie today about chapter 17 in this Mode 1 book, it'd be like 125 watching. We're talking about Alan's talking dirty skills. It'd be like 150 watching. Talk about black women, I got damn near 400 people watching. Go ahead. I just had to throw that in there. Yeah, no, but you know what though? What's funny is that the videos tend to get a lot of long replays. Like when we do a collaboration, we typically get a lot of videos after the fact, like a lot of views after the fact. So it's like it gets promoted pretty good. But let me ask you this real quick. And guys, keep coming with the likes. Thank you so much. Obsidian and many other people on YouTube, I've heard Tommy say it. They will say that there are virtually no black women in today's dating scene, you know, that are worth getting married to. So I got to ask the question: how do you feel about it, and where do you stand on that particular question? Man, let me tell you something. every woman is worthy of marriage if you're willing to marry them. Let me repeat that. Every woman is worthy of marriage if a man is willing to marry them. I mean, when guys say that, what they're really doing is they're imposing their individual criteria, their individual criteria and their individual standards onto all men. I give an example. Some men will argue that women who have a promiscuous past are not worthy of marrying. There's female porno stars who are married. There's strippers who are married. There's call girls who are married. Okay. So what does that tell you? Some man was willing to marry those women. How can you say that because a woman had a promiscuous past, she might not be worthy of marriage for you? Nobody can argue who is worthy of marriage for you individually. Mm-hmm. But when you try to speak for all men, you're being full of shit. Okay. Because the truth of the matter is, another thing guys will say, well, if a woman has already had kids by another man, she ain't worthy of marriage. That ain't true. I know a lot of women who were single moms initially that got married. Okay. You know, I almost married a single mom. Keeping shit real. The woman I dated, which might have been my last really, really serious relationship, I dated a woman who used to be a celebrity for a hot minute. Most people know who that was. Okay. Between summer 2009 and summer 2010, I was probably honestly about 3 or 4 steps away from proposing to her, and she had a daughter. But now her daughter wasn't out of wedlock though. Her daughter was from a previous marriage, so that makes it a little different. Okay. But yeah, I know a lot of men who say I'll never marry a woman who has kids by another dude. I mean, that's you. If that's your choice and that's your preference, okay, I'm not gonna argue with that. Mm-hmm. But my thing is, there's a lot of men who are willing to marry a woman who's had 1 or more children by another man. Whether it was out of wedlock or the children out of marriage.
This is going to be a more profound question. Okay. Why then do you think, since it's subjective and you cannot speak for all men, why are black men the least married cohort group in America? Since we can't speak for all of them, but in comparison to other groups of men, black men are the least likely to get married. And then also you do see out of the two groups, black women and black men are much more likely to marry interracially. So when you look at those statistics and those numbers, and that's quite available to blackdemographics.com, why do you think those numbers are what they are?
Because a lot of black men, particularly those that are educated and or financially self-sufficient, they have a very specific taste in what they want. And they're not willing to compromise on that. So a lot of black men have just resigned themselves to saying, I'd rather be just an eternal bachelor rather than get married. Or some black men say, I'll go ahead and marry outside my race. Some of it, honestly, I think goes back to that submission piece I was talking about. Okay. A lot of black men feel like, here's where I got to at least briefly talk to the women. I know you got some women listening in your chat room. Black women and women, white women, this goes for white women, any women. Okay. Men flock to femininity and submission like flies flock to stinky shit. Uh-huh. Believe that. No man wants a woman unless now there's some men who just have a passive submissive nature. For those men, I can't speak for them. They want a woman to dominate them. But the average black man don't want a woman in their household trying to run the show. They don't want a woman that's going to be argumentative. Hmm. So if you sisters are presenting yourselves that way, okay. And again, I know with some of you sisters, that's an act. I know from my experience, for a lot of you all, that's an act. Y'all not really that way. Y'all really got underneath a feminine nature. Underneath, y'all got a submissive nature. Uh-huh. But y'all don't feel like the brothers have been strong enough to bring that out of you. And I understand that too. But just for argument's sake, you sisters need to understand that if you genuinely want a husband, if you genuinely want a husband, the easiest answer is to make yourself easy as hell to get along with. And also to demonstrate to a man that you're going to be a good mother to children, because over half the reason why most men want to get married is so they can raise children in a healthy environment.
Okay.
I mean, ain't too many men, period, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, want to just get married for the sake of female companionship. I'll speak for myself. I know I don't. I'll never get married just for the sake of female companionship, ever.
Okay, so let me do this, because it seems like the more we're talking about this, we are getting some information here. Let me do this real quick. Shout out to this brother had a question, which is the question we'll ask right now, just real quick. How many women usually insist on a man using a condom nowadays? Men have to be responsible for themselves and their health. Thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Brother C. Douglas. Hey, what happened to Darrell Brown? What happened to you and Steve the Dean? I haven't seen any collaboration videos lately. Oh, we asked your own question there. Thank you for the super chat. All right. Daryl Stevens, as a psychotherapist, until black men and women seek help, commit to healing, and apply change, we will stay in this condition of self-hatred. Okay, let me kind of get back to this particular piece. Okay, because the numbers are showing something real quick. Let me just see if I have let me go back to this real quick. So then you do notice, from what black men may tell you, maybe not you per se yourself, but it seems like you are aware that black men say, hey, in dealing with black women, and probably why you may hear some brothers complaining, because they are attracted to black women. You know, black women are very beautiful. I'm an African American. I would prefer to be an African American. However, we do see that there is this submission piece. We do see that there's these situations being presented. So I guess what I want to know to you is, do you think that, I mean, even if you have never experienced, do you think that the numbers are showing that Alan Roger Currie is an anomaly in certain aspects, and what black men are going through is something to be addressed?
I think everything should be addressed at certain times. Yeah, I've never argued that for a microsecond.
Okay,
but if you live in Seattle, and anybody who's lived in Seattle knows it rains damn near every day in Seattle.
All right.
And if it doesn't rain, it's gloomy. If I heard a bunch of people, Seattle-based YouTubers saying, you know, Seattle weather fuckery. This channel is dedicated to Seattle weather fuckery. You know, I want to tell y'all, it's fucked up here. It's fucked up here. It's always raining and shit. It's always gloomy and shit. It's fucked up living in Seattle. My obvious question is going to be, then why the fuck you still in Seattle?
Right.
So my point is, I'm not ignoring that black women have flaws and weaknesses in their behavior. I don't ignore that in any woman. What I'm at, my proverbial question is, what the fuck are you going to do about it?
Okay.
That's what I want to know, other than just talk about the shit. Because if you're talking about what's fucked up about black women, but it's not leading to them changing their behavior, it's not leading to them having any new or different motivation for improving their behavior, then why the fuck are you talking about it so goddamn much? That's what I want to know.
Okay.
See, I don't like to talk about shit if it ain't gonna lead. Like with my clients, I talk to them, I give them advice that's designed to help them change and improve their behavior and weed out the weaknesses in their behavior. That's what I talk to men about. So my question to black men is, if these black women are so fucked up, why are you choosing to interact with them? That's what I want to know. Why are you choosing to interact with them when you don't have to? Why? Answer that for me. Why are you choosing to interact with black women when you don't have to? You're not legally obligated to interact with black women.
Okay.
If they're being disrespectful towards you, why are you tolerating that shit?
Okay.
If they're hard to get along with, why are you tolerating that shit?
Okay.
If they're argumentative, why are you tolerating that shit?
Okay.
You can walk away. At maximum, you can leave women alone, just totally alone. Fuck, you can become a monk. That's an option.
Okay. No,
So
I agree with
don't.
that.
I want to just make that clear that people are acting like, well, Alan must have blinders on and he must not see what we're seeing. No, that's not the issue. It's not that I don't see that Black women, as well as women of other races, can display behavior that's unappealing and undesirable. But my question again to you all is, if you on YouTube every week complaining about this shit, I'm asking you, what are you gonna fucking do about it? What are you gonna fucking, as a man, all of you all need to read, if no other book, a book I highly promote is a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Behavior by a guy named Dr. Stephen Covey. It's a great book. I might arguably say it might have been the best self-help book I've ever read in my life. But among other things in that book, one of the main messages of that book is Stephen Covey divides all behavior, activities, events, and behavior into 3 categories. Direct control, indirect control, and no control. Direct control, indirect control, and no control. Guess what no control leads to? It leads to worry, and it leads to whining and complaining. The best example was that example I already gave with the weather. If you always complain about the weather, you can't do shit about the weather other than move to another city that got better weather. But other than that, what can you do about the weather? You don't have any control of the weather. So that if you keep talking about how bad the weather is in a particular city or a particular region, all that's going to lead to is worry and whining and complaining. Indirect control, that's when you have a goal or objective, and it depends on either favorable circumstances and or the cooperation of at least one other human being for you to get the desired result that you want. Perfect example would be like team sports. Or no, let's stick with, since my lane is dating relationships, for you to get a woman in bed, that's an indirect control activity, with the exception of if you rape her. But to get a woman to agree to have sex with you, that's an indirect control activity. That's where the notion of influence comes in. Influence. And direct control is, simple example would be Oshay deciding to eat better or exercise more. That's totally within his control. So, yeah, man, I'm not down with brothers. I've never been a guy who likes to emphasize the problem over and over and over again. What I like to do is identify the problem and then propose various solutions. But if you just emphasizing the problem over and over and over again, man, I ain't feeling that shit, man. I ain't feeling that. Because like, you heard me when Obsidian was interviewing me, I asked him a direct question. I said, you've done probably over 200 episodes related to Black female fuckery. I said, can you name one Black woman that has written you a testimonial saying that she has become motivated to change or improve her behavior as a direct result of one or more of your podcasts? And he quickly said, no, not that I know of. I said, there you go. There you go. I get testimonials from my YouTube channel, man. Brothers say, not only white guys, Asian guys, Hispanic guys, and brothers say, I've changed in their lives, man. I got hundreds of testimonials in my email inbox of guys saying that my commentary and my advice has helped them change and transform their life. If you ain't helping transform a Black woman's life, then you're just whining and complaining. Now, if you're making money off it, I ain't gonna knock your hustle. Go ahead and make that Google AdSense money or that Patreon money off of that shit. But you ain't doing nothing to contribute to the betterment of the relationships between Black men and Black women if you just bitching. You ain't doing nothing to contribute to it. You're just contributing to a cycle of fuckery. Black female and Black male fuckery. That's what you're doing.
Let me do this real quick, guys, and thank you for the support on the channel. Also, we still got a full house, and I know there's some other shows going on right now. We still got 368 on. Brother, still get the likes up on the channel. Alan Roger Currie has a YouTube channel. For those people who are not subscribed to Alan Roger Currie's YouTube channel, go ahead and press 5 in the live chat, We'll get somebody there to you, and let us get 59 people that are in the chat right now to just go over and like the video. Shout out to my boy Nick Cal Willie. Good to see you, brother. Let me go ahead and shout out to a few people, and some of these super chats got some interesting messages. All right, let's start off with this. Shout out to my boy Experience Optimist. Let's be honest, a lot of Black American women are mean and destructive. I can take the average educated man to St. Martin, where some of my family reside, and I can find them a feminine and agreeable woman today. All right, so that's an interesting talking point. My man B Money, who is actually my longest subscriber, I always talk about that. Me and him had a little bit of fallouts in the comments back in the day, but he's been with me since I had like 100 subscribers. Him and Wake the Hell Up. If Black women are fundamentally different, then so are Black men. I applaud Alan putting simps on blast. Get your weight up, simps. Ooh, so like
I appreciate that comment.
Yeah, B Money is a pretty objective guy. So like I said, this is the platform where Black men can say what they want to say to one another. You know what I mean? Christopher Duffy, LMAO. Steve got tired of dudes calling in and saying homo crazy shit to him. Maybe. CACA. Alan, all lives mattering his way through this interview. All right, so shout out to man,
this is the shit that guy Corey Green said in Obsidians. He said, I'm deflecting from Black female fuckery by pointing out the fact that, hey man, y'all can look at it the way you want to look at it, but again, I don't like. Okay, let me say this: if you're gonna go that route, if some brothers rob a bank, would y'all brothers enjoy it if white people say, yeah, those Black guys, that's all they do is rob from people? Even though statistics might show that it's just as many white men robbing shit, just as many Hispanic men robbing shit, but yet you got some racist white people that would say, see them Black people, them Black dudes, they all fucked up. All they do is rob. How that gonna make you feel? I don't like to be singled out for shit when I know other races of men doing shit that's just as bad, if not worse than me. I can't speak for you all in the chat room, but I don't like to be singled out like that. That's what contributes to these unfair racial stereotypes. When a Black man does XYZ, all of a sudden racist white people say, see what happens when you get those niggers freedom? See what happens when you get them niggers freedom? They just out of control. Those niggers are out of control. They rape women, they rob from you, they blow up shit, they kill policemen. They're out of control, those niggers. And you got a white dude down in Florida biting motherfuckers' faces off and then get shot. Okay. Nobody say shit. So, I ain't gonna pile on sisters when I'm a brother who I've dealt with women from all races. My dick done been in the mouth of a lot of different women. Hawaiian women, Asian women, Hispanic women. I've seen, now, there is different nuances in the different women's fuckery. White women's fuckery might have nuanced differences from Black women fuckery. Asian women's fuckery might have nuanced differences. But the fact of the matter is, man, all women are inherently spoiled. Mm-hmm. That's number one. So I said that in my last video. Women are gonna always try to get away with what they can get away with. Okay. And if society lets them get away with it on a macro level and on a micro level, if every man they deal with individually lets them get away with spoiled behavior, guess what? They're gonna be spoiled. Okay. All women are inherently manipulative, which relates to being spoiled. They manipulate to have their way. If society allows them to get away with it, guess what? They're gonna try to be manipulative as hell. And if every man tries to date them and fuck them, allows them to be manipulative, guess what? They're gonna be manipulative as hell. It's your job as a man to establish boundaries for yourself, and you be the one that when you come across a woman that's spoiled, manipulative, disrespectful, it's your job as a man to say, hey, I ain't gonna take that shit. Okay. I ain't gonna take that shit. But guess what happens? A lot of men, when they're in the company of a woman that's a 7, 8, 9, or 10, they ain't hard lying. They say, oh, damn, she fine. I'm gonna let her get away with some bullshit. I'm gonna let her get away with disrespecting me because she fine and sexy as hell. You telling me there ain't some good looking, some women with good moral character, good integrity that are willing to take care of a man that might be average looking, that y'all men easily dismiss and say, oh, she is a 5. 6 at best. I ain't fucking with her because I want an 8, 9, or 10. But that's your good woman. I thought you wanted a good woman. But no, you don't want the good woman because she only a 4 or 5 or 6. But that fine ass woman, what's her motivation to be a fucking good ass woman when she got dick thrown at her on an hourly basis and money thrown at her on an hourly basis? What's her motivation? Remember what I said about motivations? What's her motivation? What's her motivation to treat you like a king when she got a bunch of bitch ass niggas throwing money and dick at her on an hourly, not daily, hourly basis? Mm-hmm. What's her motivation?
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask this real quick then also. And guys, continue to get the likes up here. We got 362 people watching. Thank you, brothers. Keep the likes coming up on the videos. Let me ask you this because, all right, one of the things that I hear black men say, as far as with the criticism of black women, they will say if I, deal with a white woman or Asian women, the issue that, and I'm not necessarily, a thug type of guy or something like that. What I will find is our more attractive black women are dating, black men who are, less accomplished or less desirable in certain aspects, But let's say like the brother commented that spent the $20 super chat. He says, even if you go to other places like, let's say Uganda, or you go to Nigeria or other black societies, where professional black men are actually, let's say, more wanted or desired. Those Pookie or Ray Ray types in Black America are the kind of men that even a lot of educated black women sometimes find themselves with, according to some brothers. What do you have to say about that? Do you think this is something that you personally believe? Or where do you find yourself? Because you did go to University of Indiana, you had a very good GPA. You went to business school. Where do you weigh on that?
Well, I don't consider myself. I've heard this educated lame versus Pookie and Ray Ray debate. I don't consider myself an educated lame because ain't nothing lame about me. But I am intelligent and educated. And I don't consider myself a Pookie and Ray Ray if that's defined as a brother who's just, involved in criminal activities, violent activities, or just a lazy motherfucker that don't like to work and just in the streets doing shit. So I'm in neither one of those categories. What I have to say is this. There's a lot of brothers who are naive. Like, I'm going to call out somebody by name. He probably going to get mad or get hurt. But I remember I was, of all things, I was on a blog talk radio show with Obsidian that Obsidian was hosting. And Alex, you're familiar with Alex, aka Don Calypso. He's always been critical of the Pookies and Ray Rays, and as he calls them, Dayquils of the world. And I remember he made this comment during one of Obsidian's podcasts where he said, why can't women recognize good character and integrity and great work ethic and intelligence in a man? Instead of going after a guy with a bunch of tattoos and an earring and who has swag. And I was just listening to that and shaking my head. I'm like, so when does moral character and integrity, when does that have anything to do with getting a woman's pussy wet? What does that got anything to do with getting a woman's pussy wet?
Okay.
I'm just being real, man. Because that's one of the things I emphasize as a dating coach, man. Is I help, among other things, I help my clients learn how to get a woman's pussy wet, man. Yeah, you could be a quote unquote good dude, meaning that you could be an intelligent, articulate, knowledgeable guy who graduated from college and treats animals right and treats children right and all that shit. And guess what? You can end up right in the friend zone because you thought in your mind that things like improving your sex appeal and your seductive charm were unimportant. Guess what? That shit is important.
How important is it?
It's important. Shit, when a woman wants some good dick, she want a motherfucker that she gonna feel like gonna blow her fucking back out. You don't want no motherfucker that's gonna be like, may I please take your bra off? Do I have permission to put my finger on your clit? Ain't no woman want no motherfucker like that unless he got some money and she'll use that motherfucker for his money. But a woman, man, see, you gotta understand this about women, man. Women got their good girl side, just like men. We know how to put on that gentleman facade when we need to.
Okay.
But women got that slutty, naughty girl side too.
All right.
They want a motherfucker gonna pull their hair, slap their ass, and fuck the shit out of them.
Okay.
And see, a lot of the quote unquote educated lames, they want to overlook that shit, man. They want to overlook the importance of that shit. You got to be balanced. Now, I don't think your whole life should be centered around developing swag and sex appeal, because as you get older, you will find that you live in a very unproductive life. Matter of fact, one of my favorite movies with Warren Beatty is the movie Shampoo.
Okay.
Where Warren Beatty plays this womanizing hairdresser, but he realizes that now he's 40 years old and he ain't really got shit to show for it. He ain't got no real career, no financial stability to show for it. So you don't want to be imbalanced. Okay. But yeah, man, I hear a lot of guys saying, man, women choose. Number one, why are you worried about who a woman chooses when we living in a country that's all about freedom of choice?
Okay.
If she chose another motherfucker and she didn't choose you, you just got to accept that shit, man.
Okay.
There's been times when women chose another motherfucker instead of me. I ain't gonna whine about that shit. I ain't gonna go into a state of depression. I'm gonna be like, okay, she chose that motherfucker.
Let me ask you this real quick. I need you to talk because I gotta go to the restroom. Guys, like the video because the chat's moving pretty fast. So if I can see, let me see here. All right. Let me do this. Shout out to Reg the Bad Guy. I see Mel Wolf Lifestyle here. Eric P. This is what I want to see. People criticize you all the time.
That's the understatement of the fucking.
Which I told you this. If you can remember, let me just tell a short story. When I first bought the domain negromanosphere.com, I didn't have the content creators to produce for the site. It was going to just be me. At first, it was just me and Nee. And so I needed, some people with some validity. So shout out to Obsidian because that's how I found you. That's how I got, I was introduced to Donovan. I already knew Rom a little bit. But once me and you started somewhat of a business relationship, one of the suggestions that I made to you was, Alan Roger Currie, you're excellent. Because after you wrote a few articles for the site, I said, my God, this guy's writing is flawless. And he is a very, very strong use of the English language. Some people say they have a strong use of the English language, but, you really, really have a strong use of how you can express yourself in written format, more so than I've seen in anybody else. Like, how to really, really get it across. And so I said, I think what you would be able to do is to come to YouTube with that same vernacular. And but I said, but I must warn you. You're going to get a lot of criticisms of niggas that's going to be coming for your head. Let me ask you about that. What do you think about what I said? Was that true?
Oh man, you know already, man. We talked about listeners. Oshay was right on the money, and I appreciate that because see, some people shouldn't lead you into shit without telling you the potential consequences, ramifications, and repercussions of the choice you're about to make. Because there was a few guys, including my own older brother, who had encouraged me to go on YouTube. I think my brother was the first one because he was a fan. He still is a fan of this self-help guru named Tony Robbins. Oh, yeah. He was like, yeah, man, Tony Robbins said, man, you got to have a presence on YouTube. And so he would tell me to come on YouTube. A fraternity brother of mine named Bev, he told me to come on YouTube, and all of them I brushed them aside. But the best salesman was Oshay Duke Jackson. He said, first he got me to agree to write for the Negro Manosphere, and then very shortly after that, it didn't happen in one conversation. I think it happened over a period of like 4 or 5 conversations. Yeah. He's like, man, Alan, you should come on YouTube, man, because you already are known, man. You like been on national television. You've been on national radio. You got a Wikipedia page, man. I'm only on Niggapedia. You on Wikipedia.
Niggapedia.com.
He was like, man, you're like nationally, if not internationally known, man. So you won't have to build an audience. You already got a ready-made audience. And he said, man, there's some money to be made on YouTube, and I think it would widen your audience. And for the first 3 or 4 conversations, I was like, nah. Then finally, I said, yeah, but anyway, one thing he did warn me. He said, nah, Alan, I don't know everything about you, but I kind of get the impression that most of the guys who follow you are like white dudes and Asian dudes and international dudes. He said, if you get on YouTube, niggas gonna be paying more attention to you. Let me just put that out there. Niggas gonna be paying much more attention to you. And by virtue of that, you gonna be drawn into some nigga shit. Oh, yeah. He said, I'm just gonna lay it out for you. He said, you gonna be drawn into some nigga shit.
Lord have mercy.
Trust me. So he said, I do want you to come on YouTube, but I want to prepare you for the fact that once you get on here, and you know the thing about it, it ain't like I was totally new to the concept of podcasting, because I was on Blog Talk Radio for 9 years. 9 years. I didn't deal with 1/10 of the bullshit, drama, and nigga shit in 9 years on Blog Talk Radio that I've dealt with in just over a year on YouTube. And that's real fucking talk, man.
But you made more money though on YouTube. I mean, with everything else.
I ain't gonna lie. Cause yeah, man, I make some, I've added probably at least bare minimum 15 to 20,000 extra dollars to my yearly income because of YouTube. So,
and I want to shout you brothers out there because y'all are part of that. So you know what I mean, for the as far as those people who support him on the Negro Manosphere and everything. So you guys have been, even though he's been stressing out, you know, might lose that nice S curl dealing with y'all. You might have took a few hours off his life, but you know, again, and shout out to Brother Du Bois. 2018, I'm only for the uplifting of black man. I'm my brother out of the UK. I hope he comes onto our UK podcast on Saturdays. But here's what I want to ask you, Alan.
Okay.
People feel that because you do your BS, what do you call it? BDSM for women. There are a lot of females more so that are in your comment sections. I mean, that's very visible. You have a lot of female fans. They call you King Alan. So people may think that, okay, well, Alan Roger Currie has his positions and views for the fact that he's catering to women. He must have a lot of clients that are women. So what would you have to say to those people who feel, you know, like, you know, a good percentage of your income may come from black women, or your support may come from black women, and this is one of the reasons why you're harsh to criticize those women?
Well,
insert dog face here. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh shit, you right on the money. That's what I would say. If I could get you to insert my dog face for me, and I'm probably gonna go on a little mini rant here.
Go ahead.
But
while you're doing that, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. So go get your long window. Go ahead.
But I know some Obsidian's followers have said Alan is simping for black women because that's who he makes a lot of his money from. And along with that, some Obsidian's followers and even other just black men on YouTube in general will say Alan Roger Currie is scared to harshly criticize black women because he might lose their financial support. One of my common things I like to say to people, more so when I'm talking to them in person, is look at me. Look at me. I'm going to say emphatically, nigga, please. When I got something to say, I say the shit. Let me repeat that. When I got something to say, I genuinely got something to say. I say the shit. Niggas who hung around me in real life know I done said some shit that, quite frankly, should have got me shot. I ain't scared to say shit to any motherfucker, black women included. I done looked the man in his face and told him that I was going to put my dick in his wife's mouth. So anybody challenging my verbal balls, they barking up the wrong tree. Because this nigga right here, Alan Roger Currie, I ain't scared to say shit. I done said some of the most boldest, straightforward shit to black women in my life and black men. So any motherfucker gonna try to suggest that I don't have the balls to speak my mind is a delusional motherfucker. And if you don't believe me, I ain't hard to find. Hang out with me. Shit, I'll show you. Shit, Sasha Daygame, who's a white dating coach from Europe, he hung around me in London. And he told everybody he knew. He said, Alan Roger Currie is the most verbally bold human being I've ever hung around with in my life. That's what Sasha Daygame said about me. He said, Alan Roger Currie is the most verbally bold human being I've ever hung around in my life. So for any motherfucker on YouTube, black, white, or otherwise, to suggest that I'm a motherfucker who bites my tongue and minces words, when I got something to say, trust me, I'll say it to you. I'll say it to your face. And if I can't meet you face to face, we can get on the phone. I'll tell you directly. So all you motherfuckers want to call me a simp, get on the phone with me now. Get on Skype with me now. And see, don't I tell your ass off. You won't get on Skype with me. You won't get on the phone with me because you know my balls are bigger than yours. I dare you to. Talking shit about this nigga right here? Shit, nigga, please. You better get a grip on yourself. If I get, hey, Oshay, when that chick Yashel stepped out of pocket with me, did I miss words with her? Miss domestic discipline? Did I miss words with her? Hey, for all this motherfucker sound scared.
Wait, Alan, you gotta send me that clip. I gotta put it on my vlog. You called her. You getting wet. I love Alan Roger Currie rants, but they classic. Go ahead.
No, even check this out. I was listening to Obsidian. Now you know me and him don't see eye to eye. Even Obsidian the other day, him and his buddy Nagone, they even gave me props on that. They was like, man, if there's one area I gotta give Alan Roger Currie props on. When domestic, that chick Yashel disrespected him in public, he checked her real quick. Man, not only did I check her, I called her on the phone. I said, let me speak to your husband. How many motherfuckers got the balls to do that shit? I said, let me speak to your husband. She said, are you serious? I said, let me speak to your husband. And then when I got on the phone with her husband, I said, you need to train your bitch. You need to train your bitch. I said, I can train your bitch. Because you ain't got to train. I said, man, she running all over you, man. She interrupting you while you on the phone with me. I said, ain't no bitch in my life would interrupt me while I'm on the phone. I said, nigga, you need to train your bitch. And I told him directly. I said, man, I know how to get your wife's pussy wet. Does that sound like a simp, a motherfucker who's a verbal coward? I said, I know how to get your wife's pussy wet. He said, are you serious? He said, you've got my wife's pussy wet. I said, you goddamn right I got your wife's pussy wet. And I'll get it wet again. I said, I told her to tell you that I got her pussy wet. So for y'all motherfuckers talking about all this shit about Alan's a simp, and he's scared to say this, he's scared to, man, I ain't scared to say shit to a motherfucker, man. And I'm telling you, if you meet me in real life, you'll know that shit, man. I'll look you dead in your eye and say whatever I got to fucking say to you if I need something to say to you. And that not only applies to men, that applies to women. That's how Mode 1 came about. My first book, Mode 1, came about because I was the type of motherfucker that would go up to a woman, look her in her eyes, and tell her that I wanted to fuck her. I don't bullshit with women like a lot of you motherfuckers do. Y'all be in this old small talk shit and acting like y'all not trying to fuck when you know deep down you're trying to fuck. When I'm trying to fuck, I'll let a woman know I'm trying to fuck. I don't hold back on that shit. So to answer your question, Oshay, about the money, Pete. Shit. Yeah, I earned a little bit of money, but man, the money I earned from women buying some of my audiobooks or the BDSM telephone sessions I do, that might make up at best maybe 5 to 10% of my income. About maybe 5 to 10% of my income. But for those men saying that I'm scared to say shit to black women because I'm scared it's gonna hurt, man, most of my income comes from men. I would say at bare minimum, 90% of my income comes from men. Now, let me throw this out there and then I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay.
Obsidian and all his followers saying, I'm scared to say shit because I'm supposedly scared of losing money. I can say the same thing about Obsidian. He's scared to say anything positive about black women because he know he would lose money. If he was to ever do any podcasts that were flattering to black women, that said positive shit, that motherfucker would lose half of his subscribers overnight. Motherfuckers are gonna always play to their motherfucking demographic. So don't insult my intelligence with that bullshit. Everybody got their own agenda here on YouTube. They gonna play to their audience. I'm a fucking dating coach. My commentary is directed at the motherfuckers who gonna put money in my pocket. But again, I just want to emphasize for people saying I'm scared to say some shit to black women who know me in real life, I guarantee they'll tell you themselves. They'd be like, if there's any motherfucker I know who don't hold back on speaking his mind, is Alan Roger Currie. Mm-hmm. Shit, I done told bitches in front of their daughter that I was gonna fuck their daughter, or told a woman, the daughter, that I was gonna fuck their mother in their face. Does that sound like a verbal coward to you? Please, wake the fuck up.
Okay. I don't know what happened on the way to the restroom or the way back from the restroom.
No, man, I know I'm going off a bit, man, but I'm just sick of these motherfuckers, man. There's some criticisms I can handle that I can laugh off easily. But of all the criticisms that come my way, to even remotely suggest that Alan Roger Currie is a verbal coward, where the whole mantra of my Mode 1 philosophy, that's what Mode 1 is all about, is overcoming being a verbal coward. So how can a motherfucker who wrote a book about overcoming being a verbal coward be even remotely accused of being a verbal coward? Just because I choose not to say something does not mean I'm scared to say anything. Again, I say anything to any motherfucker I need to if I feel the need to say it. Believe that shit.
Mm-hmm. No, that's one thing I will say about the guys on the Negro Manosphere. They don't hold no punches. Especially Alan. Alan got some of the best rants. I thought I had some good ones. I had some good ones, but yours is pretty good, dog. I gotta give it to you. Do me a favor, brothers, man. I'm gonna shout out to the people because when you was going off, the money was just coming in like crazy. So thank you for helping me get rich, brother. I appreciate you.
I know you do, man. You be making money off my ass, man.
So let me do this. Yeah, a little something. But let me just do this, guys. Shout out to True from Troy, brother. Thank you so much. $5 super chat. Man of Tomorrow, do you think with the MeToo movement, allegory aside, don't you think you could get people in the world of trouble? Okay, we'll talk about that. Keith Brower, shout out to Man of Tomorrow. If you remember Man of Tomorrow, he was the one that called at the end of we talked about that a little bit earlier. Keith Brower, light skin thug life. Get it wet, Kayla. Maddie, guys, ARC, you know the deal. I have nothing against black women. I found solutions. The Negro Manosphere gives solutions. Problems are eradicated. Life is good. Shout out to Dr. Deacon Eric P. Most likely to steal a bottle of Jerry Curl juice on the Negro Manosphere. ARC cooking $2. Let's talk about this, right? Because, people feel that in this day and age with the Mode 1 approach or the way that you may come across that, the Me Too situation, obviously, and you wrote an article about that in great detail, but I don't know if you read it. But they say that, guy like Alan Roger Currie with the way that he may come across could be dangerous in the Me Too situation. What do you feel about people who may have that criticism?
Bullshit.
Why is that?
Straight up bullshit. Because if you analyze most of the Me Too cases, I would say hardly any of those men were Mode 1 with those women. If anything, I would say a man exhibiting Mode 2 or Mode 3 behavior has landed more men in hot water than men being Mode 1.
Okay.
I would say, I don't know the exact percentage, but if I was estimating, I would say less than 2% of the men who've been accused of some type of Me Too allegation have been straight up Mode 1. Look at Morgan Freeman. Was Morgan Freeman going up to women just straightforwardly telling them he wanted to fuck them? Nope.
No.
He was just flirting with them in a sexually provocative and raunchy manner. But he wasn't telling those women straight up that he wanted to fuck them. Matt Lauer, he didn't tell no woman straight up that he wanted to fuck him. He was trying to use his job as a sneaky way to get in the pussy.
Okay.
Harvey Weinstein, he was raping bitches. Louis C.K., he wasn't mole one. He was trying to jack off in front of bitches. I mean, I don't know any cases. I mean, y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know of a case where a guy approached a woman and just straight up said, hey, the reason why I'm talking to you is because I'm looking to have sex with you at some point in the near future. And that woman said, no, I'm not interested. And then 2 weeks later said, you know what? That guy, he sexually harassed me. I don't know of any situation like that. Again, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But I ain't heard about no situation like that. Most of these motherfuckers who are the targets of the MeToo movement, they was indirect motherfuckers. I would say no less than 90 to 95% of those motherfuckers were indirect motherfuckers. They weren't straightforwardly letting these women know that they wanted to fuck. Even Bill Cosby, he wasn't straightforwardly telling these bitches he wanted to fuck. He inviting women over for tea and shit and drinks and shit. I don't roll like that. I don't beat around the bush with no bitches.
Okay, but let me ask you this. So, in the case that, all right, in the case that a guy was to do that, do you think that you would have women, let's say if you had the same attitude of being direct, letting people know up front if your goal was to have sex with them and stuff like that? Do you think that that would get women to say, oh, me too, that's sexual harassment?
Well, number one, here's the technical definition of harassment. Now, our country has become very loose with this. But here's the true definition of harassment. Harassment is when you let a woman know that you want to share her company in a romantic manner or a strictly sexual manner. Okay. She rejects you at least once. Okay. She rejects you. And after she rejects you, you ignore her rejection and you keep making advances towards her anyway. That's harassment. Now, a lot of feminists have caused that term to go way off the rails. There's some feminists that believe if a man who they're not attracted to just approaches them and initiates a conversation, that's representative of harassment. That's bullshit. And that's why I don't like most hardcore feminists, because that's bullshit. And speaking of feminists, for those guys who say I hesitate to criticize women, you ain't never ever heard me give kudos to women who are hardcore radical feminists. I go after them with a vengeance. I've had a few of my early YouTube videos where I went after women who fell in the category of hardcore radical feminists. I can't stand that fucking ass. But those are not exclusively black women. And you got white women in that category, women of all races. But that's not harassment. A woman has to reject you first before it becomes harassment. Now, number one, I did a whole YouTube video. Technically, you shouldn't be trying to fuck where you get paid anyway. That's your first mistake. Because most companies got rules against fraternizing with your coworkers and your business colleagues. You gotta be a really extra smooth, extra savvy, extra strategic motherfucker to be fucking a bunch of women that you work with. Because under normal circumstances, that shit is always you asking for trouble when you're trying to have fuck buddies that you work with. Okay. But on a purely social level, man, ain't no more one gonna get you in trouble. Ain't no more one gonna get you. I only have one major incident of a client of mine who got in trouble. He lives in India. And the thing about it, he wasn't even more one like in an X-rated manner like I am with women. He asked a nurse out on a date. And for those that are not familiar with India, India is still for the most part on a caste system, meaning that like here in America, you can hit on anybody. You can hit on a woman who's far more educated than you, got far more money than you, basically a woman that's out of your class, your socioeconomic class. But in some countries, they don't allow that. And India is one of those. Like if you come from a lower class family, you can't hit on a woman from a higher class family. Okay. And that's what he unintentionally did. He hit on a woman that was considered out of his caste, and he got thrown in jail for 24 hours.
Damn.
Yeah, I did a Blog Talk Radio episode. If I find it, I'll send you the link. But we talked about it on one of my Blog Talk Radio episodes. Yeah, that was probably the worst scenario I ever had happen to one of my clients to do at Mo One. Is a guy he hit on a nurse. And think about it, he wasn't even like provocative. He just asked her on an innocent lunch date. He said, "I'm very attracted to you. I would like you to go out to lunch with me sometime." And she was like, "Excuse me, I'll be right back." And next thing he said 3 policemen came and just started grabbing him and shit. And his mother had to get involved. His mother went off, and that's what caused them to let him go. But yeah, again, in India, that's why a lot of guys from India come over to the United States, man. Because in India, man, you can't hit on women that are out of your class, your socioeconomic class. You can't do that.
Okay. I'm just sorry, I don't mean to laugh, man, but the shit. Oh God! All right, let me do this, man, just real quick. How much more time you got for me, Alan? I know you got.
I got maybe about 5, 10, absolute most 50. Well, I just got a note. I'm looking for my battery chart. See, my battery says I'm at 20%. I think I go maybe 10 to 15 more minutes.
All right, 10 more minutes. Okay, let me do this real quick, man. We got 374 people watching, man. We got a classic. I think, Alan, man, we did some good shows, man. For the last, I think we've been doing shows for maybe like a year and a half, almost 2 years. This might be the best one.
I don't know if it's the best, but I know this is the most watched for damn sure.
Yeah.
I ain't never. The only time I've had this much people watching is when I've been on with at least one other person like that. The one with Alpha Male Strategies and Donovan Sharp. I think you had as many as 400 or 500 people watching.
Yeah,
you might even had 6, but and there was one other group thing. But as far as one-on-one, this is the most I've ever had watching.
Yeah, so guys, just do me real quick, man. Thank you guys for watching the show. I was gonna try to do a group show, but unfortunately, I mean, this new neurology rotation is killing me, man. It's been really taking up a lot of my time in the hospital. Because I'm doing shows on American time, and obviously in Poland it's 2 a.m, so I got to get up in the morning and be in rotations, and they're very strict. So, they.
Man, how do you do it, Oshay? Just tell me your secret, dude. How do you do it, man?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's
Do you just survive on like 2 or 3 hours of sleep? I mean, how do you take drugs or something, man? What do you do, man?
Sometimes they're 20-hour days, and but I generally like it, so it's not really, it's bad.
It's that passion. You got such a passion for what you do. It keeps your adrenaline flowing.
Yeah, I actually have a passion for both of the things, but it's just it is a lot of work, man. It is a lot of work, and running these channels and give yourself a nose job. Your mama still like it. I can smell her coochie, nigga. From way over here. She stank, nigga. It's hard.
Oh, man. Can I say this real quick?
Yeah.
I want y'all to know the influence that Oshay has, man. I'm a big fan of the NBA. I love professional basketball. And there's a brother who's a fan of Oshay named RB the Breakthrough. I love watching RB the Breakthrough videos. This is to show you the influence that brother Oshay has over these young brothers, man. I'm watching RB the Breakthrough, and he's talking about the Golden State Warriors and Cleveland Cavaliers, and he has some hater come in his chat room. And what does he say? RB the Breakthrough said, "Okay, wait a minute. Stop the show. Don't say anything. Just look at him." So kudos to Oshay, man. He influenced it, brother. They love his style, man, so much that they even imitated.
Yeah, RB the Breakthrough, man. He getting like the last 3 videos he did 106,000 views, 159,000 views, 404,000 views. Yeah, like RB the Breakthrough gets way more views than me, man. 100,000 subscribers, over 56 million channel views. So shout out to my brother. But yeah, man. So we Black YouTube, man. We small, but we get it popping over here. We get it popping over here in Negro Tube, right, Alan?
Yeah, man, and you deserve most, if not all of that credit, man, because you're such a masterful collaborator, and you know how to bring out the best and everybody, and lightheartedly, sometimes you know how to bring out the worst in people, at least for the sake of entertainment. Because, boy, I was watching that podcast the other day, boy. That was one of the most contentious podcasts I've ever watched. The young brothers was going at it.
Oh yeah, you talking about that's the one where Amanda Tomorrow came on. Yeah, I sent you an invite because you was getting ready to come on, and you was like, you know what?
Nah, I said, no, man. Shit, that was too much. Number one, it was just too many guys on the panel. Number one, and then once it got real heated, I said, oh no, I'm gonna leave that alone for the night. I'll wait till the next one.
Yeah. Because he was like, you know what, it's a little bit too contentious, you know, because you know, Alan using them big words, you know.
Because I would have got fired up, man. You know, you saw I got fired up on this one-on-one, man. I would have got fired up on some portions of that discussion.
Yeah, man. So I just want to thank you. So yeah, man. What do you have, you know, planned for you? I mean, with this year, I mean, obviously you'll be going to the 21 convention. You and Donovan will be representing, you know, the Negro Manosphere to a certain degree there in your own individual accomplishments. So you're going to 21 convention again. What do you feel about, I mean, how are you excited about, you know, that situation turning out?
Well, it's funny, man. Well, number one, I am excited to be repping not only myself and the Mo One brand, but the NegroManosphere.com brand at the 21 convention. Because for those that didn't know, last year I was the first African-American speaker that convention had ever had in their 10-year existence. Now, I've been reading some comments on social media. Some guys, they saying that they trying to get me banned from the 21 convention.
Really? Why?
Not a large group. It's like maybe only like 2, 3, 4 motherfuckers. But similar, see, this just shows I don't get this criticism for just black men. In the same way some black men think I don't go hard enough in the paint against the fuckery of black women, there's actually some white people in the manosphere that just don't think I go hard enough against women in general. They think they describe me as being a guy who's all about just trying to help men get some pussy instead of helping men recognize the fuckery of women, even though I got a book out there called The Fucking Possibility of Sex. Right. If anybody's read my book, The Possibility, if I got at least one book that highlights various aspects of women's fuckery, it's the Possibility of Sex. So I would dare anybody who's read that book or listened to that audiobook to say that I don't highlight women's fuckery. But anyway, it's a handful of guys. I saw some guy on Twitter. He said, I'm in contact with the 21 convention organizers to get Alan kicked out because all he's about is just helping men get laid and helping men get their dick sucked. He's not about helping men understand how fucked up women are in today's society. And I'm like, okay, motherfucker. But I got a number of one-on-one coaching sessions coming up. I had a couple in Miami a few weeks ago. Had a great time. I'm going to go to Vancouver, Canada, and work with 2 candidates. I'm working with some candidates here in the Chicago area. I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling for the rest of the year. And that's about it. I do my Skype and telephone consultations, my email consultations, and but see, I want to address this. Speaking of my books, I had some guys, not only just Obsidian's followers, but just guys in general on YouTube have I haven't heard it that much in the last few weeks, but I know a lot of last year guys were saying, well, I used to listen to Alan on Blog Talk Radio, and he seemed cool, but since he got on YouTube, he seems much more harshly critical of men than he does women. He hardly ever criticizes women, but he's always criticizing men. For those of you who may be in the chat room who have expressed that criticism towards me, you ain't really follow me. Because I'm going to tell you straight up, go read my 1999 ebook version of Mo One or my 2006 paperback version of Mo One. Mm-hmm. I specifically say in there, but I feel like going, I don't want to get up from my chair, but I almost want to go grab my book and go to the chapter, because I specifically say in chapter 8 of my original Mo One book, this is a book that was written back in the 90s. I said, do not concentrate on what you dislike about women. Do not concentrate on what gets on your nerves about women or what agitates you or frustrates you about women, because I said that is out of your control. I said only concentrate on what you as a man have control. The two major things you have control over in life is these two things: how you choose to behave towards other people and how you choose to allow them, keyword allow, how you choose to allow them to behave towards you. That's the only two major things you have control of. How you choose to behave towards people and how you choose to allow them to behave towards you.
Alan, let me just real quick.
Go
Let me
ahead.
shout out people. True from Troy. Shout out to Big Ralph Stallworth, the 99 super chat. Red House, not Roadhouse. Say you taking Disciples ugly nigga life. O'Shea, try to get Thaddeus Williams on the show. I love that. All right, go ahead. I just wanted to shout those people out. Go ahead, Alan.
No, well, that was it. Now somebody said, bruh, I'm reading in the chat room. Somebody said, DJ Cadillac said, bro, we haven't read the book. Well, whose problem is that? That's part of my argument, is that nobody who's unfamiliar with my books, who hasn't read my books or listened to my audiobooks, should be having any criticism about me, because you don't know who the fuck I am. You don't know who the fuck I am. So you shouldn't be saying shit. That's what I'm saying. Now, DJ Cadillac, I don't know if you've ever expressed a criticism about me. If you haven't, then I'm not, throwing venom your way, because, maybe that was just an objective statement. But for anybody who's expressing those type of criticisms, like, yeah, Alan kind of turned into an asshole when he got on YouTube and he's hard on men. I've always been hard on men because that's who my clients are. It's just like you were mentioning, I have female clients on the BDSM end. When I talk to my female clients, guess who I'm hard on? I'm hard on them. Mm-hmm. When I deal with women, I'm hard on them. When I deal with men, I'm hard on them. I'm hard on anybody who has control over their behavior.
Okay. All right. So, guys, this is a classic show. I'll try to leave this one up. Some people like, you should put this on Patreon. I don't know. I think it wasn't bad or anything. I mean, Alan was ranting a little something.
Well, O'Shea, if you do, you got to give me a copy so I can put on my Patreon page.
Okay.
So if you make yours a Patreon exclusive, give me a copy so I can have a copy for my Patreon exclusive.
Okay. So let's just see. I think it's good enough to stay up. I don't think there's definitely no hate talk. A few curse words, but shout out to Marcus A. Brown. Anything else you want to say, Alan?
No, man, I always love chopping it up with you, man. This was a deviation from my normal, normally I'm talking about stuff to do with attraction and seduction and, hooking up with the honeys and shit. So this was an interesting conversation, but it was a conversation that I think was much needed, because again, I'm gonna just say this, and this is gonna be the same thing I said to Obsidian, even though he got set off, and started saying, stop. Hey, if you're a YouTube content creator and your platform centers around highlighting the flaws and weaknesses of women's behavior, and more specifically of Black women's behavior, you have the legal right to do that on YouTube. You are free to do that. If you make money off of it, go right ahead. Mm-hmm. But my thing simply is this: don't obligate a brother like Alan Roger Currie to talk about the same shit you talking about. Okay. Don't try to obligate a brother like Alan Roger Currie to have the same venom and haterade towards Black women that you have, because I don't. Have I dealt with some individual Black women that rub me the wrong way? Of course I have. Every Black man has. Mm-hmm. But if I was drawing up a list with 2 columns, and one column represented all the sisters that have done nothing but be good to me, that were just kind, loving, respectful, and financially generous, and then I had another list of all the Black women that were just fucked up bitches, it would be a no contest. For me, in my life, the Black women I've dealt with that have been totally fucked up are in a very, very small minority. I don't interact with women if I can sense that they're fucked up. I just avoid them like they got the plague.
Okay.
So, there you go.
All right, guys. So, I know there was supposed to be a group show that might be. I don't know if it's going to be up to tonight because it's late. So, if you guys want another stream, very small chance if I do it, it will be just 1 hour. 1 hour and 30 minutes because it's already 2:17. So I may come back and do another one because I know guys want to get on the panel and stuff like that. But you may see me, you may not. But if it is, I'll send the link and then we can talk about. We didn't get a chance to talk about the side chick piece because you did write an article about side chicks. I wanted to address that article, but things kind of went a little left on the last show. So tonight we were going to talk about. Can you escape the friend zone, side chicks, and polygamy? That was going to be the topic of the night's panel. But if you guys want to get on the panel still, and if there's enough people that want to do it, you can email me at planetoshay@gmail.com. I might stay up a little bit and let you guys, do like a 90-minute show, but I probably won't go no longer than that. So it depends on who wants to talk, who wants to do it. Email me. I know you guys love to talk. Alan, thanks again for coming on to the show, man. You definitely kicked it off.
Okay, since some guys in your chat room said they don't have my book. Every time I come on Oshay show, I become generous with at least 5 of his lucky listeners.
Okay.
The first 5 black men who write me at coaching at modeone.net, modeone.net. That's coaching at mo1.net. Every time I come on Oshay's show, I give away at least 5 free ebooks, or sometimes 5 free audiobooks. So write me. The first 5 brothers that write me that have never read any of my ebooks, you'll get hooked up with an ebook of mine. And 2 quick things. Yeah, I had a great discussion with Donovan Sharp. Interviewed me about that article about side chicks. We had a great discussion. Unfortunately, it's not for public consumption. It's a video that's on his Patreon channel, and it's a video on my Patreon channel. But we didn't make it, for the general public. Mm-hmm. And also, but my quick advice would be, don't do it. That goes against Mode 1. You can have multiple sex partners without lying to women and bullshitting them and misleading them. I've done it for like 30 years. For 30 years, I've done that shit, where I've had 2 or more sex partners, and my sex partners all knew I was fucking other women, and they were down with that shit. They accepted my program. And if y'all didn't get enough of me on Oshay's show, I'm going to be on in about an hour. I'm going to be on the Prophet of Thought series. He's going to interview me about black men. He probably going to get mad. He going to be like, damn, Melly, you gave all the juice to Oshay, man. That's fucked up, man.
Shout out to the Prophet of Thought series. So you guys check him out if they want to, if you guys want to see him on Prophet of Thought series in an hour. Like I said, I might come back within the next hour and a half. Depends on how I feel. I do got some things I need to do. But again, Alan, guys, coaching at mo1.net. So you guys do that. Again, thanks everybody for watching the stream, man. The content, I must say, has really improved on this channel. It's improved since I've been around, like some of the better guys, Alan Roger Currie, LAR Movement, Rom, Donovan. You guys have really changed the content in Black YouTube, whether you know it or not. So I want to thank you, Alan, because before you guys got here, the content was okay. But now on Black YouTube, the content is getting like really, 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 really good. The content, especially people associated with Negro Manosphere. The shows are a lot better. The topics are a lot better. I've gotten better at the content because of you guys. So I want to thank you for at least forcing the issue for content creators change, because the YouTubers before were just, doing videos on just what they saw on the news or whatever. But over here, like, content is king, right? And that's what we know. And it's we try to improve the content. So thank you for doing that, because you're actually probably one of the best content creators, if not, the best when it comes to dating and stuff like that. So
hey, Oshay, I'm gonna give you some unsolicited advice. I don't want you to get mad at me.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I was just teasing you a little earlier about being a workaholic, man. Don't do another show, man. Go to bed, man. I know it's like, seriously, man. It's like 3 a.m. your time, man. I know you an insatiable, notorious workaholic, man. But I'm looking at your eyes, man, and you like, damn, man. I want to get next to that pillow. That pillow's gonna feel real good next to my head, man. So, fuck up doing another podcast after this, man. Just get you some sleep out, man, and call it a day, man.
All right, so look, brothers, Alan has spoken, man. So listen, I'll definitely give you niggas a chance, if not tonight, tomorrow at least. So again, Alan, he said do another show at 6 O'Shea. I can't get enough of these shows, man. So again, thanks, Alan. Thanks everybody for watching the show. Appreciate you, brothers, and we'll see you if not tonight, again, probably most likely tomorrow. Peace.